Welcome to day 10 of our podcast series on Intensify. And today I want to talk about powering intensity with decisions. You may have heard that the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step, but that is not correct. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a decision. Recall the last episode, we looked at Matthew chapter 5, verse 28, where Jesus Christ says, if you should look at a woman with lust, you are already committing adultery with her in your heart. So it starts with the heart. Decisions determine your destination. Great people are great because they are a product of great decisions. In life, your position will always catch up with your decision. What that means is that you may not be in a very good position right now, but once you are taking the right decisions, it's just a matter of time. Very soon, you will land in a very good position. And I will quickly share 3 examples with you. There's a guy called the prodigal son in the Bible. He had lots of money. He told his father to share his inheritance with him, even before his father died. And he took it and started making bad decisions. He was living an extravagant lifestyle. He had a very lovely position. He had lots of money. But the decision of extravagant living so caught up with him, such that his position caught up with the decision. After some time, he was begging and he was poor. I also recall when I came to Lagos, I always say this, I came to Lagos with a travel bag. But I was taking decisions like a leader. It's just a matter of time. Even though I was courting with somebody, my decisions landed me where I am today. I'm a businessman, and there's something we always say in the business world, that we should fear those who are taking the best decisions on innovation today, because they are the disruptors for tomorrow. So your decisions can land you in a very good position. I can tell where you will be in the next few years by the decisions that you are taking today. For instance, let's talk about decision regarding your location. No matter the dream and ambition that a fish has, once it takes the decision to leave water, you and I know that death is imminent. It's the same way. If you are skillful, when people start taking decisions, you can tell that these ones will not end well. So your decisions concerning your marriage, your career, your business, whatever you're doing, they matter, but not just those big decisions. The very little decisions that you take on a daily basis matter. For instance, when to go out, where to go, how to drive, how to eat. All these decisions matter a lot. Now, research has shown that we have the capacity to make about 15,000 decisions in 1 second. In other words, most of our decisions are unconscious. For instance, as I'm moving my hands, it's a decision. As I'm looking at you or the camera, it's a decision. So we have the capacity to do 15,000 in 1 second. And the challenge I have seen is that many people focus only on the so-called big decisions like marriage, work, career, but they handle others, what they call small decisions, light-handedly. And whether it is a big decision or a small decision, they have a way of affecting how we end up. They have a way of affecting how we achieve our goals, our plans, and how we are able to intensify. I give an example. There was a lady in our church who gave a testimony. She was in her mid-30s and trusting God for a husband. And of course, you know the way, if you're expecting, you want to dress well, go to some places. But the day she met her husband, she was just by her house and she just strode out of her house to quickly get something. And that was where she met her husband. Strolling out of your house was a small decision, but it led to something big. When I met my wife, I was just attending a program. But attending a program is not a big decision, but it led to something very big. I recall my friend Frank Edward once shared a very powerful testimony of how He was in a program and he was, having a nice time ministering. And his host was saying, "You are going to miss your flight." Well, to cut the long story short, he had to miss his flight because he was enjoying the ministration, only for him to go catch the next flight. And he was told that that flight that he missed had just crashed. So the decision to miss that flight saved his life. And guess what? There is no intensify in heaven. You may have called that decision to miss the flight as a small decision, but it ended up affecting whether I will be here or not. So rule number one in making decisions, avoid big bangs. Every decision counts. Everything adds up. In the book of Exodus 9, verse 10 to 11, the Bible says that when you go to the grave, there will be no work or planning or knowledge or wisdom in the grave. And it says that I have observed something on the sun, that it appears that the fastest runner doesn't always win the race. The strongest warrior doesn't always win the battle. Sometimes those who are skillful, they are not wealthy. And even the educated sometimes don't live a successful life. He said it is about being at the right place at the right time. So being at the right time is very important. And how do you ensure that you make the right decisions that powers your intensity, whether they are big decisions or they are small decisions? The way to do that is to guard your decision-making machine, which is your soul. You need to guard your decision-making machine, which is your soul. And to do that, you need to pay attention to your attention, your motivation, and your imagination. Now, I've already talked about paying attention to your motivation in day 6, when I talked about sanitizing your intentions. But let me just quickly talk about paying attention to your attention and your imagination. You know, the mind works like a computer. And how does a computer work? I read computer science. It's input, processing, and output. So you input something, like you type something on a calculator, then you say, you had it, that's the processing, and the output is what you see on the screen. Now, for you to ensure you make the right decisions, you must control the inputs, control the processing, make sure that they are right. Then you can always predict the outcome, which is the decision. So if you want to make the right decision, you need to pay attention to your attention and your motivation. Now, research has shown that our minds have the capacity to store over 100 trillion facts. That's why everything you've ever been exposed to, they are stored somewhere in your mind. You may not know it. Sometimes it takes somebody to say something and you remember something that happened even while you were still in primary school or in kindergarten, because those things are there. In also, when we think or when we imagine in pictures. Pastor Kojo said something, my pastor, he said that when somebody say a red Benz, what comes to your mind is not REDBENZ. What comes to your mind is a red car, and you just imagine that. So the Bible says in the book of Proverbs chapter 4 verse 23, guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. So the guarding of your heart means you are paying attention to your attention. It's like your house. You guard your house with doors and lock. You guard your laptop with password and encryption. You need to guard the gates of your heart, which is the gate of your eyes, the gate of your ears, and the gate of your feelings. You have the responsibility to guard these gates. What do you watch? What do you listen to? What do you read? All these things, are they taking you to somewhere great? You need to also ensure that when you spend time and you are thinking on your own, the images in your mind are powerful. They are powerful images, they are good image that can take you to the promised land, take you to where you want to go to. You may say, oh, but I'm struggling with thinking the right thoughts and creating powerful images. Well, I would say, start by making a decision that you want to change and start taking little steps. One step or the other. One step or the other, and you make significant progress. This is one of the reasons why I always encourage people to study the scriptures daily, because that's the best way to allow God to be involved in your attention, your motivation, and your imagination. Finally, I will say, ensure you always write down the goals that you have. Whether they are big goals, your important goals, write them down. The product of the major decisions that you make must be written down. Otherwise, you are still fantasizing. So I want to give you an assignment today. What are the decisions that you have taken in your life that want to propel you forward? Without any delay, write them down. It starts from there. Write them down. He said that the faintest ink is sharper than the sharpest memory. Write them down so that they will guide you, and there will be something that will drive what you will do, what you will pursue. And as we talk about the rest part of this series, you will see that those that you have written down, you will definitely achieve them because of you are powering your life with the right decisions and you are intensifying in the right direction. Don't forget to share this with your family and friends, and also to let me have your comments and questions so that we can address them in subsequent editions. See you next time.